There's moments in a rapper's career where they have to decide to either play it safe for their overall career or go back to the streets to build up their gangster image. However, the rappers who went back to their hoods committed such serious crimes, they are now rotting away in prison, just like YNW Melly, who's trying his best to get out of jail as his mother gave an update on when he could be released.
We just still praying. I know I said I would I'll keep everybody updated with what's happening. I know right now we're waiting. So basically the judge is going to do, I guess, a written order. So we're just waiting, and that order can come any minute, or it could come tomorrow. I don't know. So we're just waiting. We're just waiting. So everybody just keep praying, keep having faith. Oh, Tessa, stop. I've been crying too. It's been a long time coming, you know.
As Melly's lawyers handed in his new bond release package, you tell me if it's worth his release. As lawyers wrote, Melly's legal team proposed posting an unspecified bond that would be paid by his record label 300 Entertainment. If granted a bond, they assured the judge that Melly would be on house arrest, wear an ankle monitor, as well as hire round-the-clock security to keep tabs on him. It was so good that a rapper wrote, "That boy Melly's coming home. I feel it." However, it's the physical evidence they added to the bond release package that will get him free, such like the interview that Melly's mother did explaining that he isn't being treated like a human inside a jail, which is illegal.
When you saw Melly's statement just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
They would then bring up evidence from the original trial that this new judge wasn't there for, showing proof that when the feds say that Melly committed the crime inside of the Jeep, it is false, as there's GPS evidence proving that YNW Melly was seen sprinting down the street and hiding into a bush as his cell phone was being tracked by AT&T in his jeans pocket.
That would be the part where he's saying that someone just shut the car up and was trying to shoot him. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, yeah, he's like, yeah, there's some, I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sack and Juvie? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're.
Then, to back up the claims of it being an actual drive-by, in the original trial it was confirmed there was never a firearm even found, making the claim of it being a drive-by very likely, as the guilty party drove off with the firearm used.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what firearm was used.
Okay.
With the release package looking so good, the prosecutors even got afraid that it would be accepted. This is when they did something concerning, as the news wrote, a no communication order has been filed in the YNW Melly trial. This order makes Melly and Bortlen completely separate. No talking, no lawyers, just silence, as the prosecutors are forcing Bortlen to snitch by trying Melly and Bortlen together in the next trial, meaning they'll be sitting next to each other while evidence is shown of them doing the crime.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It's just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking the penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
This was the mistake that the prosecutors made on the first trial, not having them both sitting beside each other. As if Bortlen knows that he didn't commit this crime, he won't physically be able to sit there and take life in prison to the chin, making it very likely he'll then point the finger against Melly, as the prosecutors, they're doing it for one specific reason. You may remember in the original trial, YNW Melly's lawyers were trying to pin the crime against Bortlen.
Those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, a car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
As Melly's own lawyer was revealing that it was Bortlen that was lying to the feds and that he was the one with powder residue on his hands. They even brought up a forensic scientist that covered the passings to go into further detail about Bortlen having the powder residue.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of powder residue and two component particles. And the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of powder residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was powder residue present on the hands.
As what you didn't know is that Bortlen didn't like this at all. This is why when Melly's mistrial was granted, a report shared, YNW Bortlen tweets a mysterious message on the same day Melly's mistrial was declared. The tweet reads, "Mind games don't work on people like me," alongside a handshake emoji as if he's accepting a deal. Now this is where it gets very scary. If Bortlen is sitting alongside Melly in the trial, the feds can then also use Bortlen's interrogation on the night of the crime, where he was caught lying to police trying to cover up for his best friend Melly.
Okay, tell me what happened.
Man, I was playing music, getting off the exit. I was already getting sleepy, almost home, you know what I'm saying? And like, just out of nowhere, like, I just heard, you know what I'm saying? So, and I ducked down, you know what I'm saying, in the car,
Hey,
and I almost crashed the car.
Let me back you up a few minutes. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from the studio, from Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale studio. Which way did you take?
I took I-75, 595 to
75.
Expressway. Yeah.
Then you took 75 south?
It's clear to officers that YNW Bortlen's story isn't adding up to anything. Mind you, this is on the night of the crime. Bortlen is sitting trying to act confident about his story, trying to make it seem realistic so then they don't get caught up in a lie. However, this didn't work at all, where YNW Bortlen would be caught in that lie.
Here's the hard part where we're having a hard time to understand, is that we shut down that entire area and we had officers shoulder to shoulder walk it out. They didn't find as much as 1 shell casing. They didn't find 1 piece of glass. Nothing. Nothing to what you said adds up. And it's hard.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that's the class.
I mean, for whatever reason, your 2 friends, are these your good friends?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These my like,
these your 2, I'm assuming close friends.
Yeah, we got.
And you're doing them an in-service by not telling us the truth.
I'm telling you the truth, sir. I don't like. How? What do you want?
How do you make shell casings disappear?
I don't know. How can I tell you about a shell case?
This is where the interrogation would go south. YNW Bortlen begins getting angry as the officers aren't fully believing his story about the crime. And you can tell he's beginning to sweat because all he wants to do is get out of the interrogation room.
I told y'all the story and that's it, bro. I don't even talk about it anymore. Like, cause I told y'all. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Okay, just so you know, all right, because you're saying, well, I don't want to talk anymore. There's going to be a lot more questions. And we're not trying to piss you off. is
I
the thing is we don't know your friends.
Yeah.
So the reason we have to ask all these questions, because the more we know about your friends, your lifestyle, your friend's lifestyle, your friends, his friends, and the circumstances surrounding today, the more, the easier it's going to be for us to try and solve this.
Commonly, when the criminal in the interrogation hits this point of the interview, refusing to talk and not even wanting to discuss further, it's then the officer's job to reset the playing field to try to gain the trust back. The goal is to continue asking questions, hoping either the criminal will mix up his story and share different details than what he originally said, or just accidentally says too much, as the officer would then reset the conversation. The police officer would want details of the in-the-moment actions made during the drive-by. How was he driving? Did he crash into anything or drop any items?
And I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me, you telling me about shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna be worried about? You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there's got to be some evidence there. There's going to be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here when you guys open the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's going to be broken glass over there when the windows got out. There's going to be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's going to be evidence over there. Okay, right now there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information.
With time running out in their allowed interrogation time, the officer would then flat out ask, if you know who did this, would you tell me?
By just telling me the truth, even if it's something that I don't want to hear, but I respect the truth rather than BS, okay? And it's a simple question. If you knew who did this, okay? You may or may not know. If you knew who did this, would you tell me? It's either a yes or no question. Answer.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly. The truth. You wouldn't?
Because I wouldn't want to be a part of it. I wouldn't want to be.
Now, YNW Bortlen doesn't give a firm yes or no. He doesn't use his voice at all, which is very important. Instead, he is shaking his head no. This is because if YNW Melly did do the crime, Bortlen would obviously know that. So him saying no to the officer could have caused his voice to crack or come out in a different pitch than used in the rest of the interview. That would be due to him lying. This would then be an obvious indicator to police that he knows a lot more than what he's sharing. But it gets even worse from here. Did you know the judge created a deal with Melly's ex-girlfriend? Her name is Mariah Hamilton. She was hiding out of the United States since before Melly's original trial. She was supposed to testify against Melly, but she never showed up. She was then wanted by police for the last few years.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
As the judge made a deal with Mariah, saying if you agree to testify against Melly, you're free to go out of jail. She accepted it instantly, making it the worst news imaginable for YNW Melly. Once released, she wrote on Facebook, "Into my village, thank you to my village. I love you all so much. God's plan, not mine." Why it's so scary is because they found disturbing evidence in Mariah's iCloud account relating to YNW Melly forcing her to not testify in trial. This is known as witness tampering. This alone carries a life sentence in prison, regardless if Melly actually took out Sack Chaser and Juvie.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
The witness tampering case would also be separate from his existing case of Sack Chaser and Juvie's passing. Due to Melly already having a mistrial in the original, there is an actual chance Melly is found not guilty of Sack Chaser and Juvie passing away, but depending on what evidence is on Mariah's iCloud account, he could be found guilty of witness tampering and still go to prison for life. Due to him witness tampering, the jail phones have been cut off from YNW Melly. He hasn't been allowed to use one for several months. It even got so bad, Jamie King did an interview exposing the county jail for not allowing him to use a phone.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
But if the evidence is true that YNW Melly was using a jail phone to commit witness tampering, that's why they've cut him off from usage. The scariest part is they definitely have the evidence stored away. They wouldn't just keep him off of the jail phone if it was a hunch that he was committing this crime. This would then result in a major lawsuit that the jail wouldn't risk doing. However, the judge was still willing to release Melly from jail, inviting him to the courtroom to speak on the specifics.
Good morning, this is on State of Florida versus Jamel Demons. Present is Mr. Demons. Mr. Demons, can you hear us?
The judge then gave the prosecutors one final chance to give evidence on why he should stay in jail. You tell me how it looks for him, as they started evidence with Melly's phone. He sent a text message hours after the crime admitting to it.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHHH.
But also on Melly's phone was a saved video from somebody's Facebook Live, where it shows Melly and Bortlen's reaction to the crime only 6 hours after it was committed.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Showing not even an ounce of sadness for the passing of their two best friends, but a new interesting piece of evidence would then come out from a rogue O-Block member. He revealed Melly's motive to commit the crime was Melly not wanting to share finances with the other YNW members.
Did Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Vaughn was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walter Bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
This was supposed to be a secret that Melly told King Von. Sadly, Von shared it with O-Block members before passing away, as the name YNW is also a registered business LLC. Melly and Bortlen would perform concerts, release music, sell merch, all in exchange for money. That money would then be funneled through the YNW business bank account, where Sack Chaser and Juvie wanted an equal split just because they're in YNW, even though they did zero work for it. However, that same money in the YNW bank account also seems to be now running low. It was announced YNW Melly's mom trends after she announces she started a fans account while he stands trial. This would take the internet by storm. Fans believing Melly's going broke, DJ Academics would end up saying this.
So YNW Melly's mom has announced that she's going to be starting to and I got to be honest with y'all, man, like, this is perplexing. The reason why it's perplexing is because I can't understand why she's doing this. Your son is fighting for his life. How much, you know, there's certain mothers in hip hop, and you probably could name a few, I won't name all of them, that I feel like their son became stars, but they also wanted to be stars as well. Blueface's mom is one of them. Situation between Melly's mom and Melly, I always thought was interesting, but I never thought she'd be doing this. If you're wondering if she's doing this for money, this can't be a money play. Like, no way, no how.
While DJ Academics claims that he is not going broke, social media would disagree, bringing up a No Jumper interview from 2 years ago with Adam, B-Slime, and Jamie King, where Adam would ask YNW Melly's mother he imagines he has spent a lot of money on jail. While her sitting back and laughing, his own brother B-Slime would call Melly out for dumb purchases. But do you think YNW Melly's going broke?
I would assume
But it's still
that he spent a lot of money on lawyers. Like an amount that would probably...
That kid spent a lot of money on a lot of things that shouldn't have been spent on.
Really? Like what else?
And cars, jewelry. And he's not even out to wear the jewelry. I'm like, why are you buying jewelry and you're not here to wear the jewelry?
No, definitely lawyers are probably the best thing you can spend
That's
money
what
on.
bro. But he's good with lawyers, bro. Like, money ain't an issue for lawyers. Like, he's fine, but it's just like, there was a lot of stuff that should have went to lawyers that he didn't spend on lawyers. And I'm like, bro. And now it's like, he don't even want to chain no more.
However, Durk's life in jail has not been easy. It's been so difficult, he's even trying to put up millions of dollars just for the chance of being released. Rappers revealed Lil Durk is being released from jail due to his lawyer's sneaky tactics. A viral tweet read, Durk's lawyer just submitted the sneakiest bond proposal I've ever seen. We're actually about to see him released before GTA 6. As the famous rap lawyer known as Lawyers for Workers ended up sharing this on Instagram.
In the Lil Durk case, his lawyer Drew Finling not giving up on the application for a bond. Now, they were denied last week by a magistrate judge. In federal court, you have a magistrate judge and a district judge. The district judge is on top of the magistrate judge. So if the magistrate judge denies you, you can ask the district judge to take a look at it. That's what his lawyers are doing here. I think this is a good decision because, quite frankly, in front of the magistrate judge who denied Lil Durk, Drew Finling could have pulled a rabbit out of a hat and that magistrate judge would have remanded the rabbit. You have to consider the fact, and I hope the district judge will, that this case, as pled several months ago, has been significantly watered down in terms of how it's being pled against Durk, where you used to have an allegation that we, the government, are going to prove to you exactly who he paid the bounty to. Now the government's saying, oh, we're not going to be able to do that.
As mentioned by Mo, the fill-in judge denied Durk instantly. This is due to his case being a flat-out murder for hire. But due to this, it was announced Lil Durk gets another chance at freedom after a new judge approved a June 2nd court hearing to review his third bail offer, now at $2.7 million, as Durk was able to secure another bond hearing, but this time with the main judge. But it's what happened on his last hearing which will help him get released this time.
Update on Lil Durk. He had his bond hearing today. He looked good. He looked like he was in good spirits. No crazy weight gain or anything like that. He looked good. The judge was on the same vibes she was on last time, which is that, wait, they're saying murder for hire. They're saying you put bounties up. They're saying you ordered. They're saying I'm saying that's going to be no bond. There's basically no argument you can make to this judge in a murder for hire case to get a bond. Is that the prosecution's case has taken two major hits. One, the prosecution has had to abandon their allegation that he rapped and celebrated about this murder, that he put these lyrics out talking about, oh yeah, I got you, you out here screaming no, no, crying in the street. Prosecution had to back away from that allegation. It was proven false. They need that allegation.
As what will have him released is the prosecutors tearing down their own evidence against Lil Durk. They're weakening their own case on purpose just to make sure that Lil Durk doesn't receive a bond.
The other allegation they backed away from, which is huge, it shows the weakening of the case. Previously, the prosecution had alleged that Durk paid the bounty for the through one of his co-defendants, and they named the co-defendant. Now they've backed off that allegation. They're not actually saying that Durk paid the bounty through the co-defendant or anyone else. And the fact that they're not saying that suggests that previously they thought they were going to be able to prove that he paid the bounty through this guy, and now they know we're not going to be able to prove that he paid the bounty through this guy.
As he mentioned, the case is getting weaker for the prosecutors, who can no longer use Durk's lyrics anymore. Due to this, Durk's own lawyer called the entire charge a joke. The feds only had lyric evidence against Durk, but now they're not even using it.
The case is as follows. So there was an indictment that did not name him, right? It named others, and then there was an unindicted person. And then 3 weeks later, that indictment was what's called the first superseding indictment, and it does name him. The indictment was identical, except the unnamed person now became Dirk Banks. And this is the really important part, Ak. The second indictment, what's called the first superseding indictment, only had one new fact. It had one new fact, and that was it alleged that there was a video by Dirk that celebrated and monetized this.
Knowing there is very little evidence against Lil Durk, Drew would even ask around the rap industry about these songs that the feds wanted to use. He then quickly realized these rap songs are very old and shouldn't even be used against them, as they can use this as leverage to show the judge the prosecutors are scrambling for evidence and they don't even know what they're doing.
We got the indictment, we noticed, and we started hearing from people in the music world. People are like, this doesn't really make sense. That song, those lyrics were done a long time before that. I mean, we were hearing it from all different directions. We were hearing it from studio people. We were hearing it from people that wear suits to work every day, executives.
Exactly, yep.
And so we were like, we got to get to work here. We got to figure this out.
Due to all of this, Durk's lawyer would then mention they want to go the distance. But with the new charges, it could be a terrible idea. It was announced on Thursday, a California grand jury indicted Lil Durk. The rapper now faces a new charge of stalking resulting in death in connection with the passing of Quando's cousin in August 2022. But this wouldn't seem to faze Durk's lawyer at all. He would even go on to mention if there was a plea deal being entertained, they are not going to accept it.
You know, likelihood of a plea. I think a lot of people have seen like this seems like it's a do or die thing. This is kind of like it's going to be like a 1 or 0 type of situation. You're either are or you're not. Is Durk, from your understanding, or you as a lawyer right now, as his criminal attorney, are you open to possible conversations about plea deals? Are you thinking, no, we're going all the way? Would you entertain it, just entertain it, because that's your job to listen to it and maybe present it to Durk, or that's just off the table?
It's a conspiracy commitment case. It's an all or nothing case, and he did not participate in a conspiracy to commit. And so there is no alternative. It's a life sentence, potential life sentence. So this case is going to go to 12 people.
They're going to be going all the way for one specific reason. Durk's lawyers are keeping this in their back pocket to end up winning the case in the end, but I'm about to share it with you, explaining that all Lil Durk does online, whether it's in music, interviews, or tweeting, it's all an expression of his First Amendment right.
There's a First Amendment argument here, right? That this violates the First Amendment. Can you talk about that?
Right, for sure. I mean, I'm expressing myself. I can say the things that I want to say in a rap record or any kind of record. And you could go back and there's country records and there are pop records and there are R&B records that talk about all kinds of things. It's just that there's this notion that with hip hop, quote, glorifying violence, that suddenly now we're going to use these things to prosecute them. But does that mean that the free speech, the First Amendment has gone away? No, absolutely not. He can absolutely rap about what he wants to rap about, and that doesn't mean just because the story is violent.
As this looks so good for Durk that lawyers online are even commenting, saying he's going to be released from jail just like Young Thug was.
We've seen it happen quite a bit. I don't know that I'd say it's been persuasive. I think the biggest example we look at is Young Thug down in Atlanta. They took a lot of his lyrics, and even though technically speaking, ultimately they got a conviction, he actually walked out on time served. Most of the people that were prosecuted didn't end up being convicted, and I don't think anybody would call that prosecution a successful prosecution. And so, you've got freedom of speech issues. Does it mean that just because I'm saying something in a rap song, and it typically is a rap song, does that mean that I actually did something? And this is an extra interesting twist here because Lil Durk's attorney is saying, well, This song was actually released months before.
As he also went on to explain how the prosecutors just don't understand rap culture. This has happened in many rap cases. It even happened to Young Thug. And all Lil Durk's lawyers need to do is go through the First Amendment right, and the case will be over.
Yeah, and I'll go out on a limb and say that sometimes prosecutors don't necessarily understand hip-hop culture. It's almost like a text without context. So you got to really understand the time, the place, the audience. You know, sometimes they might speak in ways that seem direct to somebody that's outside of the culture, but doesn't necessarily, but can mean several things to someone inside the culture. So it would certainly be a flub, big time, right? But it wouldn't be the first time that such a thing has happened where somebody looking through the window, particularly of hip hop culture, doesn't understand what's being said other than their desired use of it.
However, when you investigate further into the new Lil Durk charge, it does start to get very scary. They were able to drop some of the biggest coincidence evidences of all time. Durk literally rapped in a song, "Look on the news and see your son screaming no, no," where Quando was literally seen on the news screaming no.
Right now, the search is on for 3 people who police say at a Savannah rapper, a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles, and cameras captured the aftermath.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
If they were able to drop this evidence, it makes you wonder how much evidence they truly have. Well, after investigating the court files, I found everything. One update many forgot reads, over 230 gigs of digital evidence, which includes audio and video recordings and surveillance footage, as well as 20,000 pages of reports are being processed for discovery. This comes from a snitch within the OTF camp, allegedly known as Jam. A court update read, the feds believe that Lil Durk paid to get these 2 people dealt with. Number 1, Stephon Mack, who got Lil Durk's brother D-Fang. Number 2, OTF Jam's baby mom, who passed away after Jam wore a wire around Durk. Feds believe OTF Jam is the key to putting Durk in jail for all 3 crimes. As not only is Lil Durk going to be getting targeted for the passing of Lil Pab, but Durk is also in the evidence files for 2 other Chicago murders. As OTF Jam's baby mom sadly passed away after Lil Durk noticed that he was wearing a wire during an Instagram live, where Jam is seen holding the top of his jacket, whispering in it.
I ain't gonna lie, my whole dream changed. I ain't gonna lie, like back in the day. Oh, my. Give me the check on your man. I heard you got his head. I ain't gonna lie, man. Hey, when I was growing up, I used to have a dare. Architect. Having who? I'm having a dare. Schools had stuff down.
However, months before being in jail, Lil Durk knew that Jam was acting strange. It was announced Lil Durk has been playing 3D chess the entire time. He knew Jam was gonna cooperate.
I see shit from a mile away.
I don't think people realize that.
I could have a conversation with you for 5 seconds and know your is gonna cooperate.
As Durk would then later speak further on it, saying he doesn't even allow his friends to know where he lives. He gives no information to anyone. You can tell he's sad knowing Jam snitched.
Nobody is ever allowed to my house. It be our best friend never been to my house.
For real?
I promise.
Your best friend?
I promise. Like, it's people like that I just don't allow around my girl and my kids, cause it's like I'm just a different type. I'm not the. We're gonna have family night at Durk house tonight. It's the.
Everybody at Durk's crib.
Yeah, we gotta. Everybody getting watched. We gotta watch everybody. Hey, you go too. Hey, they go too close to them kids. You know what to do. Like, that's how I play. Like, I don't play.
As a reminder, Jam is the same man that Durk gave $50,000 to during this Instagram live. But I want you to pay attention to the people in the background of the Instagram live, as it's very important.
What's his name, bro? Steady crying, huh? He's steady crying. Feed him. Feed him. Get in the milk, bro. Get in the milk so baby mama get the tripping, bro.
You see that?
Feed
for my
him.
baby. That's really how y'all hold y'all babies, ain't it? I gotta hold my money like this. This too much. Crazy though. Sitting up there doing all this. sneak this and the internet games and all this. Up some money, do something. Like, we winning, bro. I can do whatever it is I want to do, I can do it. Not what I want to do what I want. Y'all can't do that, bro. Goof.
Bro got out what?
You know that
how many you did now?
How many years I did it now?
Yeah. That's your last bit. 12?
12.
That boy popped out 12 years.
Yeah.
So much money. We really was just getting in order to just figure out the lanes, man, boy.
The feds investigated those in the background of the IG Live. They noticed these are the same men that were jewelry shopping with King Von, and they were the same men that went out to Los Angeles to commit the crime for Durk.
Solitary stone.
We just looked at him.
Let's go over there.
What up, bro?
Boss, you good? My boy.
Let's go. They got real in here, man, because he just stepped in. The money man just stepped in.
Due to this, Lil Durk's name is now in a file for the passing of OTF Jam's baby mom, but he's also in the same file for the murder of Stephon Mack. It started with this Instagram story that reads, "For D-Thang, aha." This was posted 30 minutes after Stephon Mack passed away, alongside this Instagram story where Lil Durk is laughing the following day.
You can't see us, what? What? Tweaking on folks. Hey, somebody always said, it's laugh a car. Yeah. Somebody always said, it's laugh a car.
However, this isn't the only snitch against Lil Durk, as the case begins to get very scary when realizing what is about to happen. The news wrote, prosecutors delayed Durk's chance of being released on bond to gather last-minute evidence against him for the next hearing. Chatter of a new snitch is going around the courtroom. This happened during his second bail hearing, where he was denied, but this is likely due to the arrest of Brick Baby. Just 1 week before Lil Durk's bail hearing, it was announced Big U, Brick Baby, Loose Cannon, and others were all arrested in a rolling 60s gang takedown. It was shared. Lawyers and sources believe that Brick Baby, who was arrested in the latest gang takedown, will snitch on OTF rapper Lil Durk. The timings of both arrests make lawyers believe the feds will force Brick Baby to give everything up on Durk, as the feds originally targeted Lil Durk for murder for hire because of Brick Baby. What you didn't know is 3 years ago, Brick Baby did a live stream saying you can't say Durk never slid for Von because they got Lil Pab. Once Lil Durk was arrested, Brick Baby just so happened to be live streaming where the producer of the stream would throw up Brick Baby's old interview, making it extremely awkward in the room as it literally looked like he drew the federal attention to Durk's name.
But was this an attempted hit or
well, they can't say that no more.
Then they put you as
Why?
God.
Like, who died? You can't say that no more.
Oh, because of FBG Cash? Oh, who?
Federal charges in California.
Nah, because Lil Pab.
So this is about the...
Oh! What's that?
But I'm just saying, they just say you can't say that no more.
But did you know Brick Baby also did something even worse? The feds brought up the evidence of, and I quote, told me they got an Addy Go, got the location Go, which are lyrics from the Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy track. They connected it to, I quote, Brick Baby says he would have dropped Quando Rondo's location if Lil Durk had asked him because he's loyal to him. Now all the feds need to do is check the iPhone logs, which save for 10 years.
Why is that? Then it's people like, you lined up somebody from your hood. Like, listen, I didn't. But at the end of the day, what's wrong with giving my friend the address? Oh, this is my boy. He lost his boy. Who did it could be around. 9 times out of 10, had he had asked me, I probably would have been if he even asked anybody, if this is even true. But 9 times out of 10, like I said, can I leak a bar?
Sure.
I said, if he make the call right now, I'd up in.
Right.
And if there is any connection of Lil Durk asking for that Addy, it'll be over for Durk. But the arrest of Brick Baby is also very interesting because it was announced Charleston White says he's responsible for Brick Baby being locked up by the feds.
I'm the one that put the feds on Brick Baby. I keep telling y'all niggas think I be playing. When Brick Baby went to Houston and was playing on the internet and put that $10,000 stack on his head and indirectly said, hey, I got some money on Charleston head. And he continued to act like he was pursuing me. I made a federal report First, I called Houston and made the report to Houston, but I did this through my law enforcement friend. So, not only that, we filed a report with the feds in LA, along with the LA County Police. I swear to God.
As Charleston White isn't the biggest fan of Lil Durk either. He was actually happy when Lil Durk was arrested, and he counted it as a victory for the community.
This is a real victory. Now that demonic force was a dark force. It was a dark energy. I think we now finally get to put that fire out. I don't think we'll hear drill music ever again. I don't think drill rappers would ever be celebrated ever again. Down goes the drill. So this is a victory for law-abiding Americans who like hip-hop music but don't like the killing part of it.
But did you know right when Durk was about to be released from jail, his wife India Royale was allegedly caught cheating? It was tweeted, Durk's baby mama India was allegedly seen at a party with her hand on another man's leg. The footage was being released by one of her friends. Screenshots would make it a lot more clear of it happening, where India would even end up reacting in the morning.
The family, do we know you? Yeah, you a grown man. Do y'all remember when men used to like lay concrete, change tires, go to war? Now these niggas on the internet gossiping all day. Like, what's happening?
With this going viral online, 6ix9ine and DJ Academics would give their opinions. Meanwhile, fans believe this could be destroying Lil Durk mentally.
Alright, so you want to bet 10,000 right now that hold on,
Durk,
hold on.
Told about some other
We talking about India?
She's a good girl. She's
you met her?
I haven't met her. But,
so why are you saying she a good girl? Like
because I hear the drama about everybody's relationship, and I know any rapper who could say something about me and they got a public girl, I could tell you who your girl off when she was mad at you. Like, I know all of that. I've never heard no dirt about her. Just to keep it a beat. Never heard nothing about her, period.
All right, but she gonna be faithful to the trial.
Yes.
Anything after that?
I mean, you never know how it goes. I mean, if somebody, how does it go if somebody's, again, I'm not wishing upon him, but if you get life, like, how did that go with your girl? She's supposed to be faithful or no?
With the evidence shared in this video, do you believe Lil Durk will be released from jail, or is he gonna be staying in until trial? Comment down below. However, a rapper who will be rotting in prison for a very long time is gonna be Snoop Dogg. In case you were unaware, a new Las Vegas police team is reinvestigating the passing of Tupac Shakur. Even the news wrote, new updates are happening in Tupac's murder case. Rappers in the industry from Snoop Dogg, Suge Knight, and Diddy are all about to be arrested and questioned, as fans believe that Snoop is responsible for Tupac's death after new evidence was found. It begins with this interview making the feds wonder Snoop's involvement.
You were with Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac. I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So
saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car with them.
As Snoop Dogg mentions that he was supposed to be in the BMW with Tupac and Suge Knight, but after some last minute changes, he didn't go. This was likely due to Snoop, Tupac, and Suge Knight having an altercation just a day prior.
The last time me and Tupac was on the same page, and I did an interview with Angie Martinez, and she asked me how did I feel about Puffy and Biggie, and I told her that I like their music and I want to do music with them. Bro didn't like that, Tupac didn't like that, so we had a misunderstanding. So on the flight back to LA, I didn't feel comfortable around them for what they had did, as far as I didn't let my security ride with me. So to protect myself and to prevent from happening, I slept under a blanket with the knife and the fork just in case something was to go wrong, but it didn't.
With all of this occurring within 48 hours, the Tupac murder is making the police very suspicious that Snoop may have had a tip. 2 decades ago, Snoop Dogg was heavily tapped into the streets. Many speculate he could have received a tip that Tupac was going to be targeted on this night, so he avoided getting in that car. The feds then found another interview from Snoop where 2 days before Tupac died, Snoop Dogg felt like he hated him.
I say a week before he died, we was best of friends. 2 days before he died, I don't think he liked me.
Why?
Because we was in New York, and it happened. New York, they shot at me and did all kind of shit to me, like just the worst you could think of. And I forgave him. And went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I want to do some music with him. And that just rubbed Cuz the wrong way. Like, tried to me, out at you, and you tell me you want to do a song with this. I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked his music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. This video footage of all of us hanging out.
All of this evidence would then be linked into a viral thread which relates to Tupac Shakur allegedly being a Fed, where Snoop Dogg got word of it, as one interview from an officer revealed Tupac was an industry plant with a job of stopping the beef between the red and blue street teams.
Well, it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Chokwe Lumumba, who was his first business manager, he's told me, you know, I basically asked, well, was Tupac only pretending to be a in order to appeal to gangs and politicize them? And he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda that he came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Mutulu Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the leaders to call peace truces, first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this gangster type. And really, he was just an intellectual prodigy.
Obviously, the plan did not end up working, which then resulted in him suddenly passing away. It makes sense as to why Snoop wouldn't want to be near him in Las Vegas if he got word that Tupac was a Fed. However, those investigating the murder of Tupac also found a very interesting theory that Tupac is still alive. After reading the evidence they found, it really makes you wonder, as in 2010, an interview from a rapper named Tretch really made things get weird. This interview in 2010 had Tretch revealing that Tupac and him were very close friends way back in the day. They even worked on a few albums together, but it's what he said at the end of the interview, where the cameraman forgot to stop recording, placing his camera onto the floor. You can hear the interviewer asking Tretch about Tupac, to which Tretch responds, "Last time I saw him, he was in Cuba."
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question.
Nobody knows.
Y'all good? Yeah, we good. Thanks a lot, man.
We good. Last time I saw him, he was in church, man.
Then suddenly, only 2 weeks later, a video would be released onto a news website showing a video of Tupac supposedly chilling in a parking lot inside of Cuba.
Zoom in. That's Pac, man. He with the outlaw. And Reg from Holla Back is trying to be friendly and get autographs. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
In case you didn't know, that is what created the Tupac is alive in Cuba theory, and it's been the most popular theory ever since. However, now in 2025, it's not really seeming like a theory anymore. This is because Suge Knight agrees that Tupac is alive and well. He has said so in many interviews over the course of the last 2 decades now. One interview in particular, he mentions that Tupac was apparently doing fine in the hospital before his passing, stating, in quote, "I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Tupac were laughing and joking. I don't see how someone can turn from doing well to doing so bad."
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never know.
But what's weird about this is, according to police records, Tupac was supposedly in a coma when arriving to the hospital. So how in the world would he and Suge be laughing if Tupac was unconscious? It doesn't really seem to add up. However, when you go back 10 years, in a 2008 interview from Suge Knight, he said the exact same thing. He said that Tupac is alive and that he's well.
So he was conscious on the way to the hospital?
He was conscious on the way to the hospital. He was conscious in the ambulance. He was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
They left.
Suge Knight has stood on the theory that Tupac is alive ever since he apparently passed away. But what's scary is, after the 2008 interview, when Suge leaked that information, he almost lost his own life at a nightclub when a man used a firearm in his direction 6 times. Suge Knight was hesitant to tell the police anything. He immediately knew that it was due to him talking about Tupac in a public interview. But here's where it gets crazier. His own son, Suge Jr., made the exact same mistake. You see, in 2018, Suge Jr. took it to Instagram stating that Tupac was alive and that he was living in Malaysia. After Suge Jr. posted it, he then posted another photo showing a text conversation where someone messaged him, "You said too much, it's now time for you to go." This is when Suge Jr. would begin panicking, posting several photos of Tupac alongside modern day celebrities such as 50 Cent and Beyonce. He made it seem like someone was going after him for leaking all this info. On the photo of Tupac and Beyonce, he captioned it, "He never left us, but they'll be after me soon." While some believe it was a publicity stunt for Suge Jr. to gain social media clout, others believe that it was factual and that Suge Jr. would be the one to know more about the case than anyone else in the world, considering his father was at the scene of the crime and his father is the one and only Suge Knight. But now let's compare all of that to the police records of Tupac's death. You'll begin to notice the holes in the story as it begins on September 7th, 1996. Tupac was in Las Vegas with the head of his record label, Suge Knight. The two were off to the MGM Grand to watch a Mike Tyson match, but after it was over, they spotted an op in the lobby of the hotel.
Suge Knight and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson at the MGM Grand. Keefe D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and two of their friends were also there. Keefe D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the shooting was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the fight. Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
Now, security would break up the altercation between Tupac, Suge, and the ops. This resulted in Tupac and Suge needing to go back to their hotel to change their clothing. They then went off to a club to party it up for the night, hopping into their black BMW, turning the car on, and cruising down Las Vegas. At around 11 p.m., the two would be stopped at a red light. While going to the club, things would go down right in the middle of the street as a fellow car would pull up beside them at the red light and begin talking.
Knew about Tupac's concert at the Club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keefe D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
The aftermath of the incident was a mystery for 14 years. This was, however, until the police started to reopen the case and they found a concerning interview by a man named Keefe D. This was on none other than DJ Vlad's show. During the interview, it begins with the detailing moments that Keefe D lays out of finding Tupac and literally pulling up on him with firearms.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
We was just all in the car together. Just say that.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, "Tupac, Tupac."
Got to the light. We was gonna go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He was hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
However, it was then this moment when Keefe D revealed that Tupac was only targeted in this situation because he began reaching for a firearm when stopped at that red light with the opposing vehicle.
You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out a...
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually?
No, once he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car
That's what happened.
started at Tupac and Suge.
This means that Tupac already knew something was about to go down in the street. Many were skeptical on whether Keefe D was telling the truth or not, so he would end up sharing a confirmation video. He would end up releasing his very own interrogation with the police on the night of the crime. This was never before seen until it was shared.
Lane starts. You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looks at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then Tupac's busy getting. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out
in
of
the back seat or something.
Yeah. What do you see happening inside of their car?
I seen him going Suge head. I thought he was.
So Orlando across Dre?
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window.
Even in the court files, the police would end up adding Keefe D's reaction to Tupac passing away, which shows his true emotions.
Yeah, I hate that happened, dog. You know, I really do, man. Cause it fucked up a lot of people's lives, dude. Hate that happen. Promise to God. I feel they should, you know, that was wrong, man. It was just wrong, purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it had never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on it. It never happened, dude.
Now this is where things get very odd. It would end up being revealed Keefe D wrote an entire book on being involved in Tupac's passing titled Compton Street Legend. He literally hints towards doing the crime and knowing those who did it. But why is he now just being arrested for it after a decade? Fans believe it's a cover-up that Tupac is still alive. With all the evidence shared in this video, they're getting too close to solving the puzzle, so throwing an elderly man inside a prison for the crime will make all the news slow down. You need to remember it's Hollywood at the end of the day. Who knows what goes on behind closed doors? But comment down below what you truly believe. But one rapper, who is fairly young, has already spent 6 years of his entire life rotting away in a jail cell. This is none other than NBA YoungBoy, who continues to commit crimes that throws him right back into jail.
This is a place for the search warrant. We are not leaving. Come to the front door with your hands up. Do it now.
Keep coming. Hands on top of your head. On top of your head. There we go.
Stop right there for me, please.
Let me know when you're ready for them.
In case you missed it, NBA YoungBoy released his new song titled Finest. However, it resulted in a new legal issue. A tweet read, "Legal issues are coming towards NBA YoungBoy." In his release agreement, the rapper was not allowed to speak on his court case. Lyrics in his new song Finest speaks about his case while sharing details of things he did in jail. This is likely from the lyric where NBA YoungBoy raps, "Stuck in prison, F the system, putting ice inside my nose." As lawyers online commented saying that police will likely look into these lyrics, but the rest of them are even more crazy. Even Lil Yachty wrote, "Glad NBA YoungBoy's back and releasing. My man didn't deserve jail," while also speaking on the situations. As the two situations he's speaking about is the snitching allegations and him cheating on his girlfriend. As before the song's release, NBA YoungBoy hopped on an IG Live speaking about his girlfriend problems.
About the ones who I don't get. I done told y'all the situation. And I'm fucking know the situation. Yeah. Man, my house my motherfucking house stay full of cheering, man. Hey, I'm just out of that fake, I'm out of that stage of posting it. You going in the show every time I'm with me, don't matter. Hey, it don't matter if a house full of hoes in it. Hey, I got cheering running around these. Some of them running around. And a couple of them I'm having that minute with me. Man, I know you can't. Hey, I know you can't play me like that, but watch what you say. That camera on, man.
But it's what happened next, where his live chat began spamming about the snitching allegations on how he got released from jail so early. And let me explain. NBA YoungBoy would first start saying that he doesn't need to lie.
I ain't got to lie, man. Wrong number, man. Other than that, man, the rest of them trying to stay in my house, man. Stop playing now. All the police are criminals. Everybody case drop but mine. What they tell you? Them busy got some modern day shit going on, man. Them ain't got no evidence on me, ain't got shit, but want to keep a pen down. And they whole mother law enforcement are criminals. I got way more shit on my mind every day than what you talking about, man. Man, give me some money.
As NBA YoungBoy continued to ramble on, but it's clear on what he has said. He was originally called out by a rapper on No Jumper for snitching. It was shared. Famous Richard says NBA YoungBoy is working with the feds. This comes from an Instagram post reading, "YoungBoy's telling. This is the third time getting released from the feds within 4 years on all new charges. On King David, you can't do 10 months of a 23-month sentence. My first offer was 5 years for a firearm that the police put on me, but YoungBoy's definitely police. He's probably the reason Smirk is locked up too. Now, fans would end up showing this clip of NBA YoungBoy walking around prison, wondering how you can be one of the most famous rappers in the industry, but don't have to be aware of your surroundings within prison.
That is.
However, attached to that video was this tweet. Honestly, I kind of believe it too. The timing, the energy, the way things are all playing out, it all looks a little too convenient. It wouldn't be the first time someone's played both sides. In this game, you never really know who's working with who. You gotta watch everything. But to understand if NBA YoungBoy truly snitched or not, it's important to rewatch the moments that YoungBoy was released from jail. When arriving to the courtroom, a crazy NBA YoungBoy fan hacked into the court Zoom call and was even yelling free YoungBoy.
Go free YB, man. Free YB.
Everyone needs to stay muted. Okay.
Free YB.
All right. Mr. Golden's case is already been called. He's done with court today. For those of you interested, everyone keep yourselves muted.
Free YB. Free YB.
Free YB.
As moments later, NBA YoungBoy would then enter the courtroom, laughing and smiling after hearing the support from one of his fans. As he walked inside of the courtroom, YoungBoy then had to sign a legal document stating that he understands English, and he had to write down his latest education, which ended up consisting of the 8th grade level. But did you know there's a chance that YoungBoy returns to jail due to his new song Finest? This is because in the release description in the court files, it reads in quote, on March 10th, 2021, YoungBoy was charged and arrested with a count of firearm possession by a convicted felon and a possession of an unregistered firearm. YoungBoy was outside recording a music video with several friends, playing loud music and dancing on the hood of a car. Doing this in a random neighborhood resulted in a lady that lives on the street to get concerned and call the police, describing on the phone there's several men dancing around holding firearms with very loud music playing. Police would then immediately arrive to the street. They would recognize NBA YoungBoy instantly and detain him.
So yesterday at court, the body cam footage of the officer who put the cuffs on YoungBoy back in September during that music video. The cop comes right up to him, you know, whatever, he puts the cuffs on him. And then YoungBoy's reaction is kind of hilarious. I thought it might be interesting for y'all. He was like, yo, big dog, man, what you doing, man? Why you putting these cuffs on me? That's who he was calling the cop. He was calling the cop big dog. He's like, big dog, you up right now. I didn't do nothing. You could search me. I got nothing on me. Cop doesn't listen. Cop puts him in and the whole time YoungBoy's like, yo, man, what you doing, man? Big dog, why? And it really goes to show you a lot about this case. YoungBoy didn't think he did anything wrong. He didn't think that they were going to go and start taking footage from music videos and said, you held a gun in a music video and you're a felon and that's a federal felony and you're going to face 3 to 5 years. No, and it really shows you that these federal laws, as applied to kids like NBA YoungBoy from the hood, are extremely unfair and extremely punitive, and we need to take a good long look on what's going on there.
While NBA YoungBoy was being placed in handcuffs, his cameraman forgot to delete the music video. He even tried to in the last final moments of holding his camera, as NBA YoungBoy has footage on there holding and waving around a firearm. Unfortunately, the police confiscated the camera before it was deleted, resulting in the feds having literal 4K footage of YoungBoy holding a firearm. In an attempt to free him on the possession firearm charge, his lawyer then argued that the police obtained the camera illegally, but sadly it didn't hold up in court. It would be announced NBA YoungBoy has lost his appeal with the feds, and now prosecutors can use footage of him holding firearms to convict him.
Update on NBA YoungBoy, he lost the appeal with the federal appeals court. He can take it up to the Supreme Court. What happened? So the federal judge, the lower court, ruled in his favor. She said that the video of him holding what looks like to be a is suppressed. Can't be used at trial against him. The way you guys obtained it, you violated his constitutional rights. Now, the government went to the 5th Circuit United States Court of Appeals. The 5th Circuit said, you know what, we have a different decision, and we're going to say that the government can use that evidence. It is going to be allowed in the case.
Realizing that it wasn't going in YoungBoy's favor, he knew that he had to sign a plea deal. Just before the judge officially sentenced him, it would read, the judge gave YoungBoy a positive message about him being robbed of his talent and potential due to his addiction. They wished him luck on his career when he gets out of prison.
Mr. Golden, I've seen so many times that good men and women who have a lot of talent and potential, that they can be robbed of that potential when they start to really struggle with their addiction. So I don't want that for you. You seem like a very talented young man. I'm hoping in your future that once you're done with your federal prison time, that you can be really successful on federal probation and have a really bright future where you can reach your full potential in every aspect of your life. Best of luck to you, Mr. Golden.
Thank you.
Anything
Thank you, Your
further?
Honor. That's all I have, if I
Okay.
could excuse.
You may.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you all.
The plea deal that NBA YoungBoy signed is why the rappers in the industry believe that he snitched out of jail. YoungBoy received 23 months behind bars for the crime, but only served 10. As when NBA YoungBoy was placed into prison, his lawyers would write, "I wrapped up YoungBoy's case. He got 23 months, but because of the way we worked it with credit on another case in Louisiana, he should be out in 3 to 4. But due to overpopulated jails, NBA YoungBoy was eligible to be released only after 2 months. As on March 3rd, Rich the Kid hinted towards this during an interview with DJ Academics, where they both agreed that YoungBoy would be released very soon.
Drake, YB, Durk, right now. And I ain't gonna lie to you, because I was even looking at my Spotify like recap. Yo, I think hip hop is due, like, YB has to stay out of jail. Yo, we're thirsty for his. There's a
Get out in March, right?
yeah, it's
Excited, man.
more music with him.
Wait on it. Wait on it.
However, this is where it gets scary, as it seems YoungBoy won't be free for too much longer. In a desperate attempt by the feds to keep YoungBoy inside of jail, the feds would bring up the passing of rapper Jada Youngin. With both of them being Louisiana natives, Jay had always hoped to collab with NBA YoungBoy and even praised him during this interview.
Me and YoungBoy, soon we will be making music together. I'm a fan of YoungBoy music. Yeah, we gonna collaborate pretty soon and put on for our state, because when we do, I feel like this is gonna be one of the hardest collaborations ever.
They even then dropped their collab song titled Up With Me, but the two eventually had a falling out after Jay shared a snippet of an unreleased YoungBoy song on his Instagram. NBA YoungBoy responded in the comments, "Delete this now. I don't know how you even got my song. I don't mess around like that." This resulted in Jada Youngin defending himself, saying he's not gonna take any disrespect.
I'm a real and I stand on everything, you hear me? Ain't no gonna play with me, ain't gonna disrespect me.
Jay would then put lyrics on his song titled 38K about NBA YoungBoy. He rapped, "You put that comment on my post, they laughed, but I was laughing when your baby mama was on me." As photos leaked to Jada Youngin hanging out with NBA YoungBoy's baby mom, but in return, YoungBoy ended up trying to catch Jada Youngin lacking in the street, and the feds were trying to paint a picture of NBA YoungBoy being responsible for the passing of Jada Youngin.
You be hiding. We real headhunters, man. Come on, man. Open their mouth, came to what they was, man. Oh.
While their attempt failed, showing the judge that NBA YoungBoy could have been responsible, the scarier part is the feds are actually looking at NBA YoungBoy for being responsible, meaning that he could be arrested for the crime. Do you believe he had any part in Jada Youngin's passing? However, this then brings us to a different situation with Kodak Black, who currently is facing a court case that will either have him rot away in jail or rot away in a rehab for several years. In case you missed it, the news wrote, "Praying for Kodak, it's time for him to get help." As yesterday he was live on TikTok, looking extremely rough and looked like he was crying.
Yes, I like that. All right, DP, thank you for the. Yeah, you was born. Coming up next, I want to play some Drew Hill. I got Camper, I got Anita Baker, all on the way. My name is Juby Rodriguez. I'm in for Shelby Russian today. Hot 105. Russian today. Hot 105.
As somebody's reply to that video would then go viral reading, "It really feels like Kodak is on his last straw. The next video we see of him is gonna be him gone or something," as it got even worse for Kodak Black. This was just 1 week prior, saying that he's never even experienced true love.
I know girl treated you right. Never, bro. I never had a bit of love. I never experienced love before. I never experienced it. I never experienced it, bro. I never experienced it, bro. I never did, bro. I never did, bro. I never experienced love, bro. I never did, bro. I never had it. I never had it, bro.
I never had this shit, bro. I never had it.
But how did this all start? In case you were unaware, just 1 month ago, fans were tweeting daily, "Every day I see a new video of Kodak strung out, not even acting like a human. Is someone gonna help him?" Or even, "Is anyone else afraid if Kodak doesn't get help, we're gonna lose him?" As this all began with a video clip of Kodak Black eating chicken in the middle of the road that got everyone's attention, looking completely strung out of it and sort of like a zombie.
The wrong thing. Take a seat next to him. Take a seat next to him. Enjoy that food. Enjoy that. Take a seat next to him, brother.
Oh, hold on, please. I want to be part of bro, I want to join them, bro. I want to be down here.
But earlier on in that day, this was also him on live stream, making it very surprising that his friends even let him outside as he was seen jumping around, dancing on his kitchen counters, making breakfast.
This got the singing. What you want a Mac? Got some singing. Got the singing. You been to the boys? Got some singing. Boy, you want you want your pack. Yeah, stuck on the Mac. Hey, stuck on the Mac. Then a bed rest, there's a long nap, because she took it out today and you can't do it back. You can't help.
This would end up getting the attention of Kanye West. He would speak out on Instagram, asking other rappers to come alongside him and try to save Kodak Black.
Okay, so I thought Kodak was in Miami. I see he's in Atlanta. So I'm gonna flight down to Atlanta right now and do something. So anybody that's already down in Atlanta that knows him and knows anything about him, I know I said rappers and all that, but right now, I need y'all, man, to like really go and do something. Like we can't, I know y'all think I'm crashing out. Y'all, you see me talking, I'm expressing myself. And look, man, please don't, I know I said a lot, and just let me go down there and go help this man out.
Coincidentally, only 2 hours after Kanye reached out, something would end up happening to Kodak, confirming that he needs serious help. Kodak Black was seen pacing around his room, claiming he's Drake's favorite rapper. Now, he definitely could be. However, it's more of a confirmation that he is hanging out with the wrong crowd. His own friends would rather sit there filming him completely strung out rather than helping him.
I'm Drake's favorite rapper.
Who?
I'm his favorite rapper.
You Drake favorite rapper?
Yeah.
Nah.
He always say that, even his people always say that. They always say that. Even when he ain't, you know what I mean? Even when he ain't around, so he was shit like, oh, no, it's for real, bro. People say, you just got it.
However, there's an explanation on how we even got here, which is important to hear. On February 28th, 2023, it was announced Kodak Black admits to being on drank, but denies being on other items after pleading not guilty on possession and firearm charges.
I was on the, I was asleep in front of my family house, bro. That's it. I was on that drink, sleep in front of my people's house, but that ain't illegal. And that ain't illegal. So all that shit is just the process that it had to be in other mud shot. The process that even though like bogus is plastered all over the internet, then on top of that, it's like, bro, like, I'm Haitian, and then it's just like my era, bro, like, nah, like, man, you better off.
Now, shortly after the IG Live, the feds would quickly raid Kodak's Florida home. They would arrest the rapper while also confiscating many items found within his home. It would be this moment where he would hire his lawyer, Brian Cohen, who was able to secure a deal to have Kodak sent to a rehab rather than sitting in jail for 2 years.
Kodak, whose real name is Bill Capri, faced a judge Tuesday in Orange after turning himself in following an arrest warrant issued for violation of his pretrial release. Authorities said he tested positive during a random test earlier this month.
What is the unjust and not right about this situation?
Black, addressing the judge after the pretrial release technician testified he may have mixed up the samples between Black and another patient.
There's no way you tested positive. We can resolve that by way of a hair sample, and that'll clear you.
Judge Barbara Duffy then asking for a hair sample today to clear up the alleged mix-up, which Black refused, rather choosing to check into the Legacy Rehabilitation Facility for 30 days as part of his pretrial release.
With Kodak Black being sent to rehab, it paused his music career for roughly a year. No new music, no IG lives, it stalled out his career, and many forgot about Kodak Black for quite some time. But while in rehab, Kodak turned his life around fast, writing new music, working out daily. He became a much better person. He would then drop his hit song titled Walk, gathering 33 million views on its first week, climbed him right back to the top of the charts, but the success would get back to his head. He would be featured on a Kai Cenat live stream, trying to recapture the audience of the youth, but he would be seen on stream having extreme sweats, swatting at things that aren't even there, and shouting random words.
You can't always say it, but at times when it feels good, that's when you say it sometimes. Yeah.
I thought your name was Bubba. Hey, oh.
The morning after the stream, Kodak would then hop on IG Live trying to explain the situation.
Say y'all people that who be on that, y'all be on all type of shit. Y'all be on shit. Say all type of stupid but I take me one and y'all be so hurt. Y'all wanna like it anyway. Yeah. Everybody else who be coming like on that timing, they ain't got no motion. They broke, they hurt, they something, or they trying to come into life some kind of way and trying to look any type of shit. Yeah, I could come in that way. Oh, I think you need help. Oh, look, bro. And then y'all don't think.
As with millions of fans now disappointed he broke his sobriety, he made himself look absolutely terrible on live stream. This would end up lingering for the next few months, even getting the attention of Boonk, who would reach out trying to help out Kodak, being very caring.
Well, right now, man, we worried about you. You don't look too healthy. In front of outside looking in, it's obvious that you're and I don't believe for 1 second you just doing for your own enjoyment. Nah, you trying to find something to fill up that void that's within your chest. See, I've been where you at right now, but by the grace of God, I'm clean. Them strongholds have been pulled down, them chains are broken. So I'm qualified to talk about this. You gotta make a decision, bro. You got too many people looking up to you. And from one father to another, gotta set the right example for your son. This coming from somebody who genuinely cares. So if you come across this video, you want to sit at the table, break bread, man, holla at me.
However, just 1 week later, things got worse again. A fan would try interacting with Kodak at a local football game. He would tell Kodak he loves it when he is sober, likely referring to the Kai Cenat stream, which led into Kodak responding very aggressively.
Say I love when Kodak's sober. Trying sober. I look sober.
That nigga's going for two.
I know it's sober. For what? For what? Look at all this money. Look at all this cash. Over for what? We are over.
Coincidentally, Kodak would then go to the Baltimore Ravens game the following day. He looked completely out of it. There was even tweets of, NFL fans are worried for rapper Kodak's health as he appeared off while trying to show love to star quarterback Lamar Jackson.
Hey Kodak, what you gotta say about the Ravens, Big G? I love the Ravens. Hello. Hey, what about that boy LJ, man? What you gotta tell the flock about that boy LJ, man? Yeah! Hello, yeah! Hey, that boy Yak in the city! Yeah, Yak in the city! I live out here. Hello! Yeah, Yak in the city! Baltimore, let him know.
This, however, was the final straw for many in the rap industry. Watching Kodak go down a terrible spiral with his recent struggles, it was clear that he needed help, which is why it was announced Wallow and Gilly give life advice to Kodak Black, saying don't ever doubt yourself, you got them babies counting on you.
Don't ever doubt yourself, you got them babies counting on you. There's gonna be times where you're gonna doubt yourself, you're gonna be in pain, but them babies counting on you, you gotta be here. And I'm telling you that because a lot of people get around you and they see your success and they say, oh man, a lot of people need you, and they yes man you. I ain't here to yes man you. You know me, every time we connect, you know I got love for you. Not because I need you, I got love for you because you're a young cat and I was young, Gil was young. Live. And I'm telling you that because you see that love that lady get, you see how you light up when I talk about your babies? Live. These people wanna laugh, they wanna joke, they wanna criticize. They don't know your pain, I don't know your pain. But I know one thing, them babies counting on you.
Trying to reason with Kodak on his recent struggles, as his life is a lot bigger than just him. According to Google, Kodak has 5 children, while also being the main breadwinner for his own personal family. Even a viral tweet shared, "Every time I see Kodak, I get so sad. That man has like 4 baby moms, and not one of you greedy women care about him for real, because why are y'all not helping him? You're probably sitting around waiting for him to pass away," which relates to his surroundings once again, not having the supporting cast that he needs to succeed in such a hard world. This resulted in Kodak Black apologizing to everyone and says he wants to use his influence for change.
I'm honestly, I'm sorry to everybody. I'm sorry to the people who I heard it. I'm sorry if you don't understand me. I'm sorry if you just don't like me. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry, and I'm sorry to everybody that I've wronged, and I'm so sorry to all the times I made my mom cry, and I'm sorry to all the girls whose heart I broke. I'm sorry to Young Miami, you know what I'm saying, for kind of disrespecting her and stuff like that. She accepted my apology.
She did?
However, as history repeats itself, Kodak Black would return to using It Would Be Announced. Kodak Black says the entire world is on fun items during an Instagram live, saying everyone is using it while we're waiting to pass away.
Everybody getting while we waiting to other people too, right? Other people, they don't know how to let time do its thing. Everybody let time do its shit, bro. Time is the best, what you call it, whether it's gonna heal or whatever the it's gonna let time do its shit. You gotta be patient. Love is patient, love is kind. Like I'm saying, it makes absolutely zero sense, no sense at all to try to approach the situation with any type of aggression. The whole world on everybody on your man on your on everybody again while we waiting while we just down here waiting on one.
But the following day later, once again going on Instagram Live, but this time he responded to Kanye West finally. He would say, quote, "Kanye's a real one. You want to know why? Kanye's the only guy who still likes Diddy, and I'm pretty sure the feds are gonna seize all that boy's accounts. Kanye just did some real stuff, and you know what? I'm gonna do a collab with you so we can get some money."
Yeah. Kanye a real one. You know why you a real one? Cause I'm some whole kind of Kanye the only still did it, cause he know he ain't a lot of the other look at me. I'm clean, yeah. And why Kanye
However, other rappers rotting away in jail is Pooh Shiesty, Tory Lanez, Fetty Wap, Blueface, K-Flock, Diddy, Casanova, Dougie B, Lil Reese, Fabio Foreign, and Quando Rondo.